It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
I mean, over 350 brokers, agents and company owners were flown out here to Tbilisi in Georgia to sort of learn about the country, to learn about, obviously, the project.
And that is Mario talking about the Dubai real estate market, where a lot of Aussies have headed to and continue to do so. Welcome back to the Real Estate Breakfast on our Monday morning, right across Australia, 7 days a week, talking property news, of course, and information from the likes of the suburbs of Burleigh on the Gold Coast to Carlton in Melbourne. Yes, a Monday, October the 6th. It is a long weekend for some of us. For others, though, it is business as usual, especially if you are listening to us from outside of Australia. I don't know if this has happened to you. Over the weekend, I got brave and hit the clear cache button on my computer. Yeah, that wasn't a great idea. Then reality hits. You go to log on to the bank, Netflix, email, suddenly you don't exist. Every password that you've ever saved has sort of vanished. Now it's a treasure hunt, of course, to go through those sticky notes, emails, and phone notes to try and recover passwords. I just don't understand why they don't have an option like clean the cache except for those saved passwords. It is a little bit of a nightmare. Right, let's head off to Dubai once again and find out why Aussies are moving there as we catch up with Lillian and Mario. And the first point is that there are many different communities in Dubai. Yes, they're not called suburbs, but rather communities. And one of the blue chip communities is called Dubai Estate. And Lillian, you're going to tell us a little bit more about this area that Aussies have bought into.
I am. The location of Dubai Hills Estate is one of the best in Dubai. Look, it's smack bang halfway between downtown Business Bay and the Palm Jumeirah. It's just inland off Al Khal Road. So Dubai Hills, it's divided into 30 sub-communities, and when it's fully completed by, they say, mid next year, there's going to be approximately 2,000 villas and thousands of apartments. So the vibe and the demographic of Dubai Hills is very much luxury living. So there's an 18-course golf course, which is world championship level. And the demographic is predominantly European, British families who are sending their children to some of the top schools in the area. So this includes the exclusive Royal Grammar School, RGS, and GEMS SRI, which just opened, and it's fed directly from the British prep schools.
Yeah, the great thing about Dubai Hills Estate is that whilst it is a very exclusive community, there seems to be different affordability levels to purchase there.
Yeah, so at the most affordable end, you obviously have your apartments because they're smaller. And the apartment community is called Park Height. This is a cluster of mid-rise apartment buildings such as Mulberry, Acacia, Goldfield and The Collective. So a 3-bedroom apartment would cost you around 6 million dirhams, while you can comfortably buy a 1-bed in, say, The Collective for about 1.6 million. And then there's the new Ellington House apartments, which are just handing over Building 1, and they are an excellent investment if you can get your hands on one of those. They are pretty popular. Then there is the mid-range. So these are your townhouses and villas. So like most communities in Dubai, these homes come in a certain number of layouts, their types, and the most popular sub-communities in Dubai Hills for these are called Maple and Sidra. So Maple has townhouses from between 4.5 to 6.5 million, and then Sidra features standalone villas which range from about 9 to 16.5 mil.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but as we said, it is also ultra luxurious, so we should really talk about the ultra high range and price points there.
Yeah, these are quite incredible. These are all your custom builds. So the architecturally designed mansions, they've usually got views over the golf course or the Burj Khalifa skyline. And these sub-communities, they include Emerald Hills, Fairway Vistas. The most exclusive is called Hills View. There are only 74 plots in this area and they are all mega mansions. So a 7-bed mansion sold there in July for 150 million, a 9-bed for 200 million last December, and there's currently a 10-bed on the market for 265 million if you've got that. So I've actually got a couple of listings in Emerald Hills between 80 to 170 million. And you're really talking about the top 0.05% of the population who can afford these properties. And trust me, they are not sitting on their phones scrolling through Beirut. So finding ultra high net worth buyers is really a whole different ballgame.
Gee, the commission on the 80 to 170 million, that's going to be a very tidy sum. So report back on that, Lillian. Let's go to somebody that was, well, I think he was feeling a little bit envious when you were tripping around, Lillian, but he's managed to get out of the country. Mario, whereabouts are you this morning?
Yeah, good morning to you both and to the listeners. I'm currently in Tbilisi in Georgia. It's my first time here, and we're here to view a developer's project called Mira Verde, which is going to be a series of villas, townhouses, and basically it's a little mini city. Gorgeous. So we're actually going to go and see the land today.
All right, so good stuff. Interesting, because there was a plane load of you that have been flown out from Dubai. We'll get back to that in just a moment. We want to look at a recent Value Strat report that highlighted where villa and apartment prices are rising fastest across Dubai. And with some communities surging ahead, some people will say, well, you know, what's the opportunities like for investors to enter the market right now? You've got all of the bullet points on that.
Yeah, I think the opportunities are definitely still there, Craig, but it is in fact villas that remain the big growth story, with some apartment communities also catching up as well. But villas rose 1.8% month on month, and that's 27.1% year on year. And prices are now 190% above post-COVID lows and 76% higher from the last peak, which was 2014. Now, the community hotspots remain Jumeirah Islands. They're up 39.8%. The Palm Jumeirah itself, that's up 39.3%. Green Community is 25.7%. And the Meadows up 25.5%. Now, the ones at the back, if I can say that, you've got Moudon, that gained only 8.8%. So this tells us that family-orientated villa communities, they continue to see the demand from both investors and the end users. Now, not forgetting the apartments, they're also playing catch-up, gaining 1.1% month on month. But citywide prices are still below the 2014 peaks by 2.5%, but they are rising steadily. The apartment hotspots are Dubai Silicon Oasis, that's up 22.7%. The Greens, 22.6%. Remram is up 22%. Dubai Residence Complex, that's up 21.9%. Production City, 21.1%. And Town Square, up 21%.
And everybody knows that Property Finder and Beirut, now they are the two biggest real estate portals in the UAE, but did you know that real estate agencies pay to push their listings higher in the search result? And pushing up these listings have different names on the different portals, such as Premium, Signature and Hot. So how much are agencies spending on these services, and what else can agents do to make their listings more popular and stand out? Well, let's come to you, Lillian, because you know this firsthand.
Yeah, this is a bit of a little behind-the-scenes insight into what goes on in agencies. So I'll give you an example. I've got a listing at the moment in Dubai Hills. It's a beautiful 5-bed villa, but I'm going to admit, and I have said this to the seller, it is overpriced at 16.5 million dirhams. Because the pricing is too high, it has been on the portals for 3 months. And the seller has insisted that in order for us to list it, it has to be at a premium product. So to answer your question about cost, my company has been paying 15,000 dirhams per month to list this property at premium on Property Finder. So if you add this up, this means we've spent 75,000 dirhams already on advertising. Now, the most frustrating thing is that sellers in Dubai, as we know, are not obligated by law to pay any commission. So in this case, the seller is only offering 0.5%, which is roughly 80K. So if you do the maths, this means even if I sold the house tomorrow, we're making a 5,000 dirham profit.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will be sort of flabbergasted with that ratio of profit. And this is just one listing. So imagine how many hundreds of thousands of dirhams real estate companies are spending on advertising online. It is big bucks. So what happens to smaller companies, you might be asking, for example, who can't afford this expense?
Yeah, look, most smart agents know how to work with the search algorithms to try and push their listings to the top of the list without paying for it. August and September, these are the most searched terms on the property portals. Look, they do differ from area to area, but across all communities, one of the most popular searches is pools. This is pretty obvious. You know, we live in the desert, it's hot, everybody wants to have a swim. Vastu is also a big search. We know this is sort of the Indian equivalent of feng shui. And then in townhouse and villa communities, the top searches always sort of relate to the types. So on the Palm, the most common is garden homes. In the Lakes, it's Hatan. Victory Heights is Bloomingdale's. Al Fajan is type A. And in the Springs, it's type 2E. Then if we look at the marina, vacant Marina Gate is actually the most popular search. Look, this isn't a surprise. We know that Marina Gate is the most popular group of towers in the marina for a few years now. So look, if you're an agent and you take advantage of these popular search terms, you hopefully won't have to spend thousands of dirhams on the portals.
Thank you for that, Lillian. And if you were wondering, Lillian grew up in Hobart and was living on the Gold Coast before heading, like so many Aussies, off to Dubai. And I should also mention that Lillian is a fully qualified architect before switching it up and becoming a Dubai real estate broker. Back to you, Mario, and flying into Georgia, where the developers took a plane load of real estate agents out of Dubai to showcase this new development.
Yeah, this is an interesting concept because developers do obviously spend loads and loads, or should I say millions and millions of dirhams in advertising, in marketing. And this is a different approach. So they've decided it wasn't just a plane load, it was 3 plane loads, Craig. I mean, over 350 brokers, agents and company owners were flown out here to Tbilisi in Georgia to sort of learn about the country, to learn about obviously the project. But literally, it was also a sort of a bonding session, which is quite weird because everybody's always in competition. But now you're having dinner with your, either a compatriot or you're having dinner with someone who you're trying to beat to a deal. And some may say it's quite extravagant, but the amount of social media marketing Mirror Developments are getting out of this, I think is worth the money spent. So potentially, I think if this works out, I think most other developers might actually decide to follow suit, which is going to be amazing news for us brokers, as it were, because it means more trips in different parts of the world.
We're talking about it because they have flown you, and these are hard dollars that are being spent, Lillian, on a company that is taking 3 plane loads. So, we were talking about the cost of online marketing, but this is something physical where you sort of take somebody on a plane and do a number on them, literally, sort of wine and dine them, because they know that the story, the messaging is going to get out there.
It sounds like fantastic networking also, and I love the idea that Mario is talking about real estate agents from different agencies working together. I'm definitely up for an invite if they go again, especially if they go to Tbilisi during the snow season. It's just a 1-hour trip to Gadari, so I'll be up for the next invite.
Yes, Lillian is very much into her skiing, and thank you for those insights on our Monday morning in Australia. Have yourself a great day, Lillian, in Dubai.
Thanks, Craig. I definitely will. The AFL footy is over now, so just waiting for the cricket.
And to you, Mario, enjoy Georgia, and thanks again for coming on to the Real Estate Breakfast.
Amazing. Yes, have a great week to all the listeners, and I'm off to spend the actual pocket money that they've also given us as part of this trip.
How much pocket money did they give you?
They gave 350 Georgia gels.
We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.